Okay, friends, starting off laying down. So just take a few moments to get comfortable and relax. So spread open your back on the floor, kind of smoosh it around. Make sure as much of your back body is as firmly pressing down as you can. Maybe a little rocking is in order. As you straighten out and kind of lengthen your spine, and fidget yourself into place. Sometimes it's nice to just give yourself a moment to truly fidget and find the most lengthened and relaxed posture on the floor. Perhaps you have a little bend in your knees, a little bend in your elbows, a nice tuck in your shoulder blades, and maybe a little tuck in your chin too, so the back of your neck feels completely uncreased. Start to breathe deeply into your rib cage and your belly. Spreading open the muscles and the rib cage. Even your shoulder blades on the floor get farther apart as you inhale. And start to make the breath as deep and long as you can. Kind of enjoying here that sense of expansion on the inhale. I like to visualize my whole self expanding outward on the inhale, getting huge. And on the exhale, compress yourself to be as dense as a neutron star. Belly muscles rolling inward, chest muscles, rib cage muscles, everything pressing in. And then try inhaling and pausing at the top a few times. Go ahead and pair that with exhaling and really pausing at the bottom, making it a full exhale. Hold all the way down there. It feels kind of good and it feels kind of right to really empty your lungs every now and then. Just clean them out. Start over. So enjoy that simple luxury, just clean, fresh air, something we are so lucky to have. Allow your face and your jaw to relax. Maybe cultivate a soft smile. Some face yoga, it helps to breathe into your nostrils. Spread open your sinuses. Okay, let's start to bring in some gentle movement. So keep your big breath, keep your focus on this moment and how you're feeling. And we're gonna walk the feet in a bit closer to your hips. You can take them really close if you like. I like mine pretty close. And then start to shimmy your feet away from each other. So they're maybe even going off of your mat space, okay? And then we'll start dropping the knees side to side, okay? I like to pair this with some cactus arms in the upper body, so that you feel your upper body really stabilizing downward, your chest spreading open, and feel how this gives you more control over the movements in your lower body too. I like to think of stability in one aspect of your body gives you mobility in the other, and there's so many different ways we can think about that. Okay, you feel the hips and the low back starting to warm up a little bit. You can make it a bit more active if you like, actively moving the knees down. Finding a nice stretch in your outer hip. Wrapping across the back into your low back. Should feel nice. Okay, let's bring the knees back up and then pause. Pick your feet up and then glue your two bent legs together. So now we just have one solid leg. Keep your cactus arms really stable, your rib cage lifting toward the ceiling as you drop the knees over to one side to hover, and then to the other side to hover. And let's take a few more hovering twists like this. Keep breathing. I like to exhale on the twist and inhale back to center. And feel your spine and all the spine muscles, back muscles, neck muscles. As you look away from your knees, feel the twist all the way up to the base of your skull. Allow your whole torso to just get a great massage here, warming up your back from the inside, warming up your core from the inside. Speaking of warming up your core, next time your knees come back into center, pause and take one hand to each thigh, just above your knee. Okay? Let's make sure that before we really start to engage core, which is what our goal is here, that we've got some nice protection for the low back. So I want you to make your abs really strong and pull your belly button down toward the ground. You should feel your low back flush with the ground so that you could not put your hand underneath your back. It's completely sealed. So watertight low back, okay? With that low back in mind, start to lift your head and shoulders as you press against your knees. And we're gonna hold right here. So it's like you're sitting in a chair, okay? And you're leaning in to talk to someone who's saying something really exciting, but you still have a long spine. Breathe. There are no creases on the back, the front, or the sides of your neck. Flex your feet, push your legs. Pull that belly button in and see if you can get your pelvic floor involved. Just kind of experiment with lengthening your neck. And then I'm going to start to play around with this shape. So let's extend the right leg. Exhale as you do that. Hover it off the mat. And then bring it back in. Inhale. Exhale. Extend the left leg. Hover. And bring it back in. Inhale. Exhale, right leg. Inhale back. Exhale, left leg. Inhale back. Now you keep going. If this is too much, you always can just drop your head and shoulders and just keep going with the leg hover, maybe just keeping a bend in your knee. So that would be your more gentle option, okay? But let's take a few more rounds like this. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Your low back never leaves the floor and your neck is very uncreased. That really helps me, that visualization. Okay, we're gonna add some spice. So you have the option to stay here or back it up, or you have the option to, every time you send a leg out, send that arm away. So you're adding weight in your upper body now as you send an arm back. Okay, out and in. Nice breath. Exhale on the effort. Inhale to bring it in. Exhale. Inhale. Keep breathing. Pull that belly button down toward the ground. We're going to do it 8 more times on each side. Okay? 7. 6. Keep that belly button in. 5. 4. Whew, this is nice and challenging. 3. 2. And let's hold. 1. I'm so sorry, but we're holding. Breathe right here with me. Push against the knee. Pull your belly button to the ground. 3, 2, and 1. Switch. Hold and breathe. Pull that belly button down. 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knees in. Relax onto the floor. Excellent work. That was a nice core challenge. I'm willing to bet that you feel very warm in your abs. As a matter of fact, if you put your hand there, you'll feel some nice warmth. Tuck your hands behind your knees. Let's rock it up. Okay, and then just cross your ankles here, roll it over to hands and knees. Roll it over to hands and knees. Let's take some cat-cows. Okay, I'd like to combine it with a wrist stretch today. So you have the option to flip your palm up, fingers pointing back at you. So you're trying to read your own palm here, and you can do one at a time or two. It's a nice wrist stretch to keep your wrists healthy. So have a long neck here, having the strong abs in towards your spine. Inhale here, roll that heart up between your arms. Make it big, spread your shoulders away from each other, and exhale, push the floor. Hang your head here. Okay, let's take a few more like that. Let's make it side to side, 2. Doing a nice jump roping movement with your spine. Okay, feel every part of your back body involved, and then every part of your front body. Notice the back body works when you arch that spine. The front body works when you round the spine, and we want to find a nice balance. Okay, from your cat-cows, just bring it back to a tabletop position, okay? And let's get the right leg out behind. Tuck the right toe, and then press back through the right heel. So you're getting a nice little calf stretch, kind of a bonus calf stretching experience. And keep that leg nice and strong. See if you could hover the left knee up off the floor, tucking it in towards your chest. Now you always have the option to bring it down, okay? So keep that in your pocket, but do tuck the knee in close to your heart. And then if you, like me, tend to round your spine, okay? You can lengthen that spine out, sending your heart forward. It is challenging, but you can do it. Now see if you could put the right knee, sorry, that's a left knee, close to your left elbow. Hold and breathe. Feel free to drop a knee at any time. Make that spine long. Now see if you could switch it to the right elbow. Hover, hold and breathe. Smile, you can do this. Okay, now we're gonna send it all the way back to the floor underneath your left hip. Whew. Switching sides. Tuck that left toe back. Push through the heel, get a calf stretch. And then we'll think about lifting that right knee now up off the floor. Now you can also do this with the left knee down, and it's still a little bit challenging, so it's not cheating. Go ahead and modify if you need to. Pull the length into the spine. Breathe. Tuck that knee up. Let the heat build. Stay with the challenge. See if you can bring the knee to your right elbow. Stay with it. Allow that warmth to build. Allow the strength to build. See if you could, with control, switch the right knee to the left elbow now. Use that core, strong belly pulling in. One more breath here. And then we're bringing the right knee back to the floor under the right hip. Whew. Go ahead and drop both knees here. Tuck your toes. Go ahead and shake your wrists out. That was a lot of weight for a long time. Interlacing your fingers here, flip your palms up and make a really nice round shape around your head so your shoulders are moving away from your ears and your neck feels really long. And it should feel nice to have your shoulder blades kind of drop down the back. Okay, if your ribs pop out, you can put a little knit in them and put a little strength in the lower ribs. So you think of them lifting up and in. Put a tuck in your tailbone. And if your feet start to get uncomfortable with your toes tucked, you're always free to untuck them. It's the same idea, okay? This is just our little toe stretch in time. See if you could point your tailbone down, and we're gonna start to kick the floor with your feet. So kick the floor, let your tailbone hover just off your feet and breathe. So you feel your legs are working. Okay, just about everything in your leg is working here. And we're gonna get really warm in your hips and warm in your back, warm in your shoulders. Keep breathing. Make some new space around your head, lengthen your neck. Pull the belly button in. Nice and warm. One more big breath. And let it go. Release your hands down in front. Whew. All right, I'll meet you in a downward facing dog. Come on up. Lift your hips nice and high. Shake your head. No. Yes. Okay, give your shoulders a nice movement all around the top of your rib cage. Okay, make sure you roll them in both directions, kind of massaging out all that tissue. And then I think it's nice to let the hips kind of waggle side to side. Play around with your hands too. Sometimes it's nice to make tent hands. Try one tent hand, and maybe you like two. And it kind of feels nice as an opener in your armpits. So you can think of allowing your chest to kind of drop low toward the floor. You can also try rolling on the tops of your feet. Okay, and you can try different combinations of all these things. Okay, just know that down dog is a great posture just for stretching in general in between other things. But it's not necessarily comfortable for everyone, so you can always bend the knees or drop them. So I want to get into some fun triangle postures with you today, but just build a little bit more warmth in your joints. Take a few little rounds of some fun vinyasa variations. So if you need a break in your flow or you just want to slow it down, skip stuff, go for it. Here we go, friends. With your inhale, lift the right leg up and out behind you. Think of keeping your hips level as you lift your toe. As you exhale, right knee forward. Drop the foot between your hands. Okay, inhaling here, come up halfway. Exhaling here, step that back foot forward and fold. Roll it up, inhale. Lift your heart. We're going to reach that right knee up in front. So you're balancing on one leg. Exhale, hinging at your hips. Reach your fingers forward. Think of coming through a warrior three, kind of a flying shape, and sending that right toe toward the back of the mat. Okay. From here, inhale, spread your big heart up and open. Crescent lunge. Think of pushing the floor down as you lift your sternum. And with your exhale, all hands down around that front foot. Front foot steps back. Okay, big breath in here in plank. And exhale all the way down. Inhale, lifting into a cobra. So pull your heart up and forward. And exhale, bring it back to downward facing dog. Shake it out here for a breath or two. Okay, notice the backs of the legs. Notice your shoulders. Okay, inhaling here. Lift that left leg up and out behind. Send it nice and high. Keep the hips level. Okay, exhale here. Drop the left foot between your hands. Okay, exhale here. Reaching forward. We're going to shift, lift up, and send that right knee up toward the ceiling. Okay, exhale here. Send that right foot back through that kind of warrior three-leg posture. Inhale, find a crescent lunge. Okay, big heart up. And exhale, all hands down around that front foot. Step it back to plank. Big breath in. And exhale, bring it all the way down. Inhale for a cobra. Okay, tailbone digs down, heart pulls up. And exhale, all hands down. Downward facing dog. Come on back. Walk it out here. Take a few breaths in your down dog. I'm going to get a little side planky with you. Okay, so as you're ready, from your downward facing dog, allow your heels to point out to the left. Just let them drop over there, okay? And you can, at this point, either stack your feet, one foot on top of the right foot on top of the left, or you can stagger your feet. Decide which one you prefer, okay? Staggering is a little more stable. Stacking is a little more challenging. And come into your side plank, okay? With your exhale, bring it right back to that downward facing dog. So you're going to push the hips back. Okay. Again, drop the hips to the left. Inhale, come up into that side plank. You can maybe lift the top leg if you like. And then exhale, bring it back to the down dog. We're gonna do it one more time, okay? Inhaling here. Let's flip it up and over to that side plank. And this time as you exhale, drop that hand under that top hand, right hand under your right shoulder, come all the way down to the floor through like a push up, okay? We're gonna try to push it back up to plank. So inhale back up to plank, whew, and exhale down dog. Now let's do the other side. So we're gonna drop the heels over to the right, okay? Find that little right side plank. Keep in mind, you can stagger feet for more stability, stack them for more challenge, and exhale back to that down dog. Try to make it fluid, press those hips up and back. Again, inhale, side plank. Make it nice and float, maybe float the top leg. Exhale, down dog. Smooth it out. One more, side plank and hold. Long as you can, make the breath last. This time, exhale down to a plank, and I just want you to float all the way to the floor. Make it smooth and slow. Inhale back up to your plank, and exhale to your down dog. Walk it out here. Okay, got some nice heat built in the shoulders and the legs. So from here, just tiptoe all the way to your hands. Come on all the way forward. And let's give the upper body a chance to kind of breathe and hang after that. You can really bend your knees, grab your elbows, and just sway here. Let your upper body hang in traction. You can bend one knee more than the other, swaying. And then I want to encourage you to really be generous with your knee bending, okay? Because if you have too much extension in the knees, then sometimes your upper body is just so curved, it's hard to release. Okay, from here, step one of your feet toward the other side of your mat. So just pick one so that it makes sense, so that you're facing long ways. So just come long ways. And then make sure your hands are under your shoulders. For a moment, just allowing your spine to be long and the toes to turn in slightly. And we'll just start to bend into one knee and then the other. Bend, bend. Okay, as you move your hips to the side, think of also moving them back. So you want to think of your tailbone moving away from your head. There's always length in your spine. Okay, make sure those knees really point outward. All right, so bring it back into center and then turn your heels more in so your toes point more out. You can bend your knees here. And then one hand to each knee. And we'll start to sink down into the supported horse posture. So we're gonna drop one shoulder at a time, pressing back on your legs so that you get a nice stretch along the inside of your leg, okay? Okay, as you drop one shoulder, feel that nice twist all up and down your spine. You like to inhale back to center and exhale when you twist. Okay, and really we're just setting ourselves up for a horse posture, which is gonna get the legs nice and warm and is gonna prepare us for some fun triangle experimentation. Okay, so come on back to center and then really point your toes and your knees out to the side, almost ridiculously so. And then go ahead and let go of your legs and float your arms to the side. So here you are in a horse posture. It is challenging, and sometimes it can even be emotional. It's so challenging. So if you need a break and you just want to escape for a minute, just lift your hips and extend your knees, and it should be a relief. And you can just come back down when you're ready. But tuck your tailbone, pull your belly button in, and open your knees wide, like you're trying to open a book, okay? Do the same with your arms. Okay, now I want to invite you to drop the left elbow to the left knee and reach that right hand overhead. Feeling a nice long space all along the right side. Okay, you can even bend that right arm and look up at the ceiling underneath it. One more big breath in here in your horse posture, and then both hands on your hips. Go ahead and straighten your legs. So let's start out over on facing out to the left. So if we just bend the right, rotate on that right heel and point the right toes slightly over toward the left. Okay, and make sure your feet are about a leg length apart. You can always adjust it, but when you look down at the floor, your legs and the floor make an equilateral triangle. Okay, and just take a moment to stand up nice and tall. Feel that your legs are not only pushing down into the earth actively, but they're also trying to draw toward each other. So you're feeling the 2 feet definitely drawing together. Okay, if you need to put a bend in your left knee, you can. No problem. Even if you don't need to bend it, put a little micro bend and really strengthen all parts of the leg inward. And take your arms out wide here. We're just going to start reaching the left arm out. Still strong in the legs. They're not just standing there, okay? They're actively pushing down and pulling inward. Okay, try to keep your torso long on all sides. Keep reaching to the left. Now pause, okay? Take both arms and reach out to the left. Breathe here with me. 3 breaths. Push into your feet, draw them together. Feel your core working. 2 breaths. Pull the belly button in. 1 more breath here. Okay, now allow that left hand to drop to the left leg and support you for a bit. Okay, you can put it on the thigh, the hip, even on the floor. Just don't press down on your knee, okay? Now find a place to be here in triangle posture. Push the floor down. Pull your feet toward each other. Activate your core. Okay, we're going to play around with this shape. So in the Sanskrit, we would say this is Trikonasana. Okay, it's triangle posture. But there are also several different triangles. There's the triangle your legs make with the floor. There's a triangle here between your arm and your side and your leg. And there's a big triangle where the tip is your right hand. Okay, moving to a different posture. Take your right hand to your right hip and just drop your right hip toward the floor. Okay, and I want you to keep the strength in your legs, the pulling inward, everything the same, except now you're not facing to the right, you're facing the floor, and so is your right hip. Okay, in triangle posture, you can keep your left leg as kind of a support, or you might reach forward with one hand, or both. Let's take a breath wherever you'd like to be. Okay, here in pyramid posture, I want you to think of yourself being very strong here, like a pyramid, pushing down into the earth, drawing toward the center, challenging your upper body maybe by reaching out. Okay, taking some nice breath here, really letting the posture do its magic. If you need a little break, you can bend the left knee more. All right. Should feel your legs and your hips getting nice and warm. 1 more big breath in here. And then allow, maybe the left knee bends a little bit. Allow your right hand to come down to your left leg, okay? I'm gonna step my back foot in a little bit. You might do the same. Back foot in just a bit. And then finding a place on the left leg for my right hand, I'm going to revolve this triangle posture, revolved triangle pose, and start to reach up with my left hand. So breathe here with me. Make your longest spine because you are twisting. Okay, I'm gonna spin around to face you here because I wanna take a few more breaths, just like this. So if you need revolved triangle posture to be more gentle, you can even bring your torso upright and just put your right hand on your left knee, on top of your thigh. Okay, you can make it more gentle by bending the left knee. Okay, so breathe here. Think of reaching up, think of looking up maybe. If the posture feels easy and you need challenge, look up and then maybe close your eyes. That's nice challenge. Okay, a few more, maybe 3 more big breaths in and out. Push the floor with your legs and pull your feet toward each other. Don't let the legs let go and fall asleep. One more breath, revolve triangle posture. And we're letting that left hand come back to the floor here. Whew. Walk the fingers back over out in front underneath your shoulders. Okay, and we can use this left knee to come up, back up to standing. And we're gonna turn and face out to the side of the mat again. And I'm gonna spin around to face you here. So you're back in your horse posture. Take another round of little twists here, where your hands are pushing on the inside of your leg and you're dropping one shoulder at a time. Inhale to center, exhale to the other side. Keep your spine long. All right, and then use your knees here to drop the hips nice and low, and then go ahead and let go of your legs. Back to a horse posture. So remember, you can sit up higher if you need a break. But I want to invite you to use this posture, okay? Let in a lot of warmth. Open the knees wide. Drop that tailbone. If you feel heat building in your legs, just lean into it. Accept the challenge. Step down hard into both your feet. Strengthen the legs inward. We're going to spend a few more breaths here. Okay, a powerful posture. Stay in control with your breath and your intention down into your legs. Okay, now here we can take the right elbow to the right knee, reach that left arm overhead, keep the hips low, maybe cactus this left armpit open. A few more breaths, just letting your legs work. All right, both hands to your hips, go ahead and stand up. Whew. So now we're gonna face the other side. Okay, horse pose can be really, really, really warming and intense. So it's not just you, it's the posture. Okay, left toes point slightly over to the right. Your hips and shoulders should always stay facing the side now. So if you notice the left hip turning toward the right, get them nice and pointing forward, like headlights. Okay, strong legs. So let's get the legs before we even go into triangle posture. Legs push down strong and the muscles pull back in towards center. Core is engaged. Right hand starts to reach out from there. Breathe and reach. Okay, remember to put at least a little bit of a bend in all the knees and not lock them. Try to keep your torso long as you reach. Adding space. Okay, now pause here. Reach both hands out to the right. Whew. Hold and breathe. Push through the legs. Breathe. Point your tailbone at your left toes. Long neck. One more big breath here. Okay, release the right hand to your right leg. Remember, it can be anywhere on the leg, just not pressing down on your knee so that it locks. So unlock all your knees, strong legs still. Continue to breathe in your triangle posture. So explore the strength of the triangles here going on. Use your strong legs. Use your strong arms. Take up a lot of space. How much space can you take up here? If you're really enjoying the triangle posture and it's feeling like super right, you can really lift your belly button in towards your spine to protect your low back and start to press your hips out in the direction you're facing. So you feel that whole left side lengthening. Okay. So we're moving from a triangle posture now to a pyramid posture. We'll spend some time there. So left hand to left hip. Use your left hand to point your left hip down at the ground now. And think of this as the strength in the pyramid, as that core, okay? So keep your legs strong and pushing. If you like, you can have two hands on your leg or one hand reaching forward or two hands reaching forward. Breathe. Remember the strength in the legs. Keep coming back to that. Strengthen the legs, strengthen the core. Okay, attempt to lengthen your torso and your neck all the time. Okay, remember your options. You can always bend the right knee, okay? Or support yourself with your hands, okay? Now we're gonna start transitioning to a revolved triangle posture. So I'm gonna step my back foot a little forward, okay? The left hand now finds a place on that right foot or shin, anything but the knee, and we'll start to reach up with the right, twisting open to the side. All right, I'll spin around to face you here because we'll take some time. So this is another one where you can take up a lot of space. I want you to be really excessive and extra here, reaching out into all the corners of your body. Okay, strong legs, strong core. Think of your sternum spinning up and open to the ceiling. Big inhales here, big exhales. Using this powerful twist to detoxify your organs and realign and recalibrate your spine. One more big breath right here, my friends. And we're letting this go. So come back down with your hands under your shoulders. You can bend into that right knee. Whew. You can use that right knee, press yourself back up to standing. And then one more time, turn yourself out to face the side. Okay. Here, instead of another horse posture, let's enjoy these nice warmed up legs and get a great stretch out of it. So turn your toes inward again, okay? And then again, press into the outer edges of your feet. So I want you to really strengthen your legs into the floor, point your tailbone down, really push down into your heels. Think of pulling your arches up off the floor. Okay, and you can grab onto your hips here. See if you could really slowly hinge at your hips and point your tailbone back behind you. And just slowly hinge yourself all the way down. And if you want to bend your knees, go for it, okay? Eventually, you're going to want to take your hands to the ground and just let your head point at the center of the earth. So make sure it has room to hang. You might have to take your feet closer so it has more room. Your spine to just hang in traction. Shake your head here. Maybe a little sway is nice. From here, you have some options. So there's a lot of different places you could go with a wide leg forward bend like we have. You have the option to start to grab your calves, one calf in each hand. And you can, I like to think of hugging my calves toward me, kind of not necessarily pulling on your calves, but moving them toward you. Another good option is walking your hands back between your legs and pointing the top of your head even further down. Just make sure you're keeping your legs active here, okay? You're not passive in your legs because we don't want to stretch passively, right? We only want active stretching. So you're always using the muscle fibers that you're lengthening. Even if it's just a little bit of activity, it's preferable to passive stretching. All right, friends. Hands back up underneath your shoulders here. Okay, and from here, shimmy your feet back toward each other. And we'll just enjoy a nice standing forward fold here. Now that the backs of the legs are warm, you may be able to hug your forehead towards your shins. But continue that feeling of pressing down into the strong legs as the muscles pull in. Breathe into your low back. Okay, from here, come down to hands and knees. You can just put palms down and put your knees down. And I want to take a little pigeon time with you. I think we got the legs nice and warm, and we can release a lot of hip and low back tension with a pigeon posture. So from your hands and knees, just take your right knee forward between your hands. And you can drop that left knee and kind of maybe move the hips back. Move the left knee back a little bit. So in your pigeon posture, there are two things that you want to adjust to make it feel just right. So stay up with me. Even if you just use your hands down in front to support you, just stay up for a bit. First of all, we want to make sure that we have the proper alignment so that we're really making the most of the posture. We want to make sure the top of the back foot is on the floor so that left hip is internally rotating. And we want to make sure that the right foot is in the correct place. Okay, so you can bring the right foot out closer to being level with your knee. You can bring it away from your hips to make more opening in your right outer hip, or you can bring it close to you and kind of sit on it if you're not interested in a huge stretch right there. Okay, so pick the one that makes more sense for you. Make sure to activate, okay? That's also something really important. We don't want to be passive, no passive pigeons. So activate the legs downward, okay? And you want to feel your glutes turn on. And then once the legs are active, you're aligned, then you're coming all the way down. Press the floor down, breathe. So pigeon posture is great because if we just put a little bit of activity into the legs, we can get a great release across the whole right hip, rolling up into the low back. So breathe deeply wherever you feel this. Notice how you're feeling. How's your practice going? Your heartbeat. All right, keep rocking that left glute. We want a nice glute activation here to help the front of the hip open up. And then let's come back up out of this. And I just want to give you some options to play around with, just some kind of fun pigeon options. So you can either stay here with your hands out in front, or if you need to take a break, you can always rock over onto your right hip and take a break. But fun option exploration, you can start to twist and look behind you. So you can think about looking over your right shoulder. And at some point, maybe you take your right hand behind and your left hand in front, and you're just looking behind. And this is kind of the first place that I would start. So just see how this feels. And then if everything's feeling great, you can bend that left knee, that's the leg that's behind you, and point your toes at you. You can kind of wave at yourself, okay? And then if that feels great, you can grab the foot with your right hand. And you can pull it inward if that feels nice, okay? You can grab it on the outside of the ankle, or that would be the inside of the ankle, okay? Or you could grab the top of the foot, okay? Grab the top of the foot, and then you can Internally rotate your elbow and start to point it up. Okay, and get a nice pigeon stretch. So those are just some things to think about. Maybe it happens today. Maybe it's just something that you want to explore another time. So fun pigeon options. Maybe try 1 or 2 more times, whatever you are maybe working on. And then as you're ready, I just want to rock over onto the right hip. So come on over, rock into the right hip, and face out to the left. And we're going to find a half straddle kind of shape. I'll spin around. I feel like I'm spinning around a lot today. Okay. Tuck that right foot in nice and close to you. Okay, so that you're almost kind of sitting on it. And then let's get the left leg to go as far out as you like it. So don't feel like you have to crank it and do anything that's uncomfortable. But just take it out so you feel a nice inner thigh stretch and you still feel good about the leg. Okay, no pain. And then do the same with the right knee. Point the right knee as far out to the right as you can. So make the straddle nice. Ground those hips. Okay. And then left hand to right hip. Think of having a long spine. We're going to inhale with that right arm up. Okay, ground in that right hip as you exhale and reach to the left. Think of reaching, lengthening your spine. And we'll do it again. Inhale to reach up. Press down that right hip. Exhale, reach to the left. One more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach. Hold right here. So this is an option you can stay with. You can just hold and keep reaching and grounding that right hip. But if you need some support, drop the left elbow to the left thigh. That's a nice little option. Okay, you can also take it to the floor. You can also open up the top arm, that right armpit, by kind of peeling open. Okay, so find an option that works great for you. You can also reach over with the right fingers to tickle your left toes. But no matter where you are, take a few breaths and ground more into the right hip. Press it down more than you did before. Find length in your neck. One more big breath here. And then use your right fingers to press yourself up. Okay, from here, bring the left knee in. So bend that left knee. And we'll take the right leg out to the right to be the long leg. And then you'll just move over to the left to make a left side pigeon. So we're coming around to pigeon on the other side. So this time the left leg is out front. Take a moment up in your pigeon just to align. So really rock that right hip under. It has a tendency to want to externally rotate here. So get it nice and internal. Okay, put the left foot where you want it. Closer, farther. And then start to activate the legs. Press the floor down. Then you want to fold into it. Nice breath in pigeon. Push the floor. Strengthen that right glute. Okay? One really cool thing about our bodies is that our muscles work in pairs called antagonists. And if we activate an antagonist, it allows the opposite muscle to release. So when you activate your glutes in this posture, it allows that right hip to drop closer to the ground and release. Pigeon is a nice time to just look at the situation that you're in and take a moment to reflect. How you feeling? How's your breath? Where do you feel your body the most right now? Okay. Take your time, starting to pick yourself back up out of this. Come on up. And hang out up with me here for a bit, and we'll just explore that same little funky option on this side. So you can start just by looking over the left shoulder and make sure your legs are still active. They're not passive. Looking over that left shoulder, you might even take the left fingers behind. Okay, you can start to bend that right knee. And maybe you stay there. That's kind of fun because that's kind of a mobility exercise. Like you kind of challenge yourself. How close in can I get the heel? And then maybe someday you start to reach for the heel. And so you can grab the inside of the ankle. That's one option. Okay. You can also grab the top of your foot coming from the outside. And then you start to think about rotating that shoulder so that the elbow points up. And this is a nice, really nice chest and shoulder stretch. So I think it's worth cultivating if you have an interest in it. So play around with those options, maybe for 1 or 2 more breaths, okay? Or whatever you were choosing to do. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to rock over onto the left hip. And find another half split on this side. So the right leg is the long leg. It's still strong and active. The legs are actively pushing down. Okay, get those knees to point out as much as you can. And then right hand to left hip. Okay, remind yourself to ground into the left hip. Push it down all the time. And we'll inhale for a long spine. And exhale, reach to the right. Reach, 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 reach. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push the left hip down. Push, push, push. One more. Big breath in. Big exhale. Left hip down. And hold here and breathe. Okay, you can put the right elbow down for support on the thigh, on the floor. You can also focus on opening your chest a lot here too. Okay, you can also think of reaching for those toes. Take a few more breaths, grounding in that left hip, lengthening your neck. Feel the length all across the left side of your back, your low back, your neck. Okay, as you're ready, you can use the left fingertips to press yourself up. And from here, bring all your legs out long. Tuck your hands behind your knees here, and we'll just roll it all the way back. Come on down. Okay. Let's cool down and neutralize the spine. Okay, so taking your arms out into a goalpost shape. Let's cross the right leg over the left. And you can single cross at the knee. You can double cross at the ankle. Just let the knees drop to the right, to the left as you look to the right. So drop those knees to the left. It's okay if they're hovering in the air. You're looking over in the right. Let's just breathe here. As you drop your shoulder blades with each breath, think of lifting your rib cage upward and open. Inhale into your big chest. And exhale using your strong belly. One more breath here. All right, bring your legs back in to center. We're gonna cross the other way now. So uncross and cross the other way, left leg on top. Okay, single cross, double cross, knees drop to the right and you look to the left. Okay, think of this as just restoring balance to your spine. Think of lifting your rib cage as you drop your shoulder blades and breathe. belly button in. All right, friends, start to bring yourself back into center. Uncross your legs and find your resting posture. Hands down by your side is always a nice one. You can flip the palms up, scoot the shoulder blades under your heart. And here's where you just let go. No more effort, no more doing, no more control. You allow your body to just soften and let go, and your breath too. Just effortless breath. Your jaw is soft, your forehead, your ears. Your big, soft, open chest rises and falls just the same way as your belly rises and falls. And give your body some time to just soak up the magic from your practice. Your central nervous system can assimilate all the experiences it just had. Give your tissues some time to just cool down and return to their resting state. And in the meantime, just be present with your body and your breath. So please keep resting like this as long as you can, friends. Thanks so much for practicing with me. This is where I'll leave you tonight.